Hi, I'm Mike, founder of GoodBed.com. Today we're going to be showing you a mattress from the Beautyrest Black collection. This is called the Calista Extra-Firm. This is basically the entry-level model in the Beautyrest Black collection. It's a model that you can buy both online as well as most likely in stores near you. So we're excited to show it to you. Stick around. So one of the first things that people want to know about a mattress is just how soft is it. And in the case of the Calista Extra-Firm, you can certainly tell from the name that it is a firm mattress. And on our softness spectrum, the firmest or least soft classification we have is what we call extra firm. And when we think of what that feels like, it's sort of, I would describe it as sleeping on a really soft carpeted floor, like a really plush rug. If you will. And I have certainly been on mattresses that we would classify as straight up that. This one, I probably would classify it in that bucket of extra firm, but I would put it more maybe towards the softer end of that, that particular classification. Because while it is pretty firm, it does have a little bit more conforming than some of the firmest mattresses out there. So we would classify it as the softer end of the extra firm bucket. So now let's get into what's actually in the Beautyrest Black Calista Extra-Firm mattress. And for starters, this is a 12.5-inch total mattress. It's got about 7 total layers, and it starts on top. You have this fiber-filled quilt here, which basically is fibers that are kind of polyester type fibers that give this quilt a nice little loft to it and that sort of familiar traditional mattress top feel. And then you have below that, in the top half of the mattress, about 5 layers of different kinds of foam. Included in that you have some gel foam, as well as something they call micro diamond memory foam, which is a really dense memory foam that has a little bit of cooling feature to it, and actually has like tiny flecks of diamond, or at least so we're told, mixed into it. And then of course, beyond that, you also have various other kind of comfort foams mixed in there. And then on the very bottom, what you have is a pocketed coil unit that really is the heart of the beast of any Beautyrest Black mattress. The way they make their coils is very unique. So basically a portion of the coils are made with what they call twisted cables. And those twisted cables, think of a suspension bridge, how the cables are like 3 strands all interwoven together. Well, they do that. They take 3 wires and they weave them together into a twisted strand like that. And then they take that strand and they shape it into the shape of a coil. And that becomes the coil. So you can imagine how much more sturdy and durable that coil is. So that is something that is very unique to Beautyrest Black, and that's part of what gives the coils in this mattress a little bit more firmness than you find in other pocketed coil mattresses. And then of course, going around that pocketed coil unit, you have a foam perimeter, which is designed to give the mattress additional edge support. And then on top, of course, there's this cover here, which is kind of a nicely designed soft fabric cover, and it's got the quilted undulations that we talked about that gives the mattress kind of a traditional classic look and feel. So there you have it, the construction of the Calista Extra-Firm mattress. So now let's get into the 2 things that absolutely everybody has to get from their mattress, which are back support and pressure relief. And I'm going to start out on my back, because that's the position that I predominantly sleep in. And for context here, I'm about 6 feet tall, not quite 200 pounds. And what you can see here is that I do feel well supported here on my back. I feel like I'm getting a bit of lumbar support there for sure. And this is the thing I was talking about with that carpeted floor analogy, that while it does feel firm, you know, I can tell that my hips are allowed to sink into the mattress. And that's helpful in terms of making sure that my lumbar is properly supported, and that curve in the lower part of my spine is also you know, properly accommodated by the mattress. So overall, I would say this is a great fit for a back sleeper of my size. Probably would be also great for back sleepers heavier than me. And I think a back sleeper who's much lighter than me would probably be okay here as well, provided that you like a firmer mattress. If you are someone who likes a soft mattress and you're a back sleeper, probably you're going to want something with more cushioning than this. Another classification of people who are probably really well served by this mattress would be stomach sleepers. Just in general, across the board, stomach sleepers are going to want something that is on the firmer side. This could be too firm for some stomach sleepers, particularly maybe for women in their chest area. It could feel a little bit too firm, but overall, I would say that the firmness is good for a stomach sleeper, and this could probably also be a good fit for even a heavier stomach sleeper, because the coils here are pretty firm, and I think they could hold up pretty well for someone who's heavier. And you really want to make sure as a stomach sleeper you don't have any like sinkage under your hips, because you get that overarching. So I think that these coils would be firm enough and strong enough to prevent that for even a heavier stomach sleeper. Now I'm going to switch over to my side, and in this position you're really going to have to think about not only spinal alignment but also pressure relief, because your body is now, or your weight is now being borne by the smallest surface area. And I'm particularly focused on my shoulders and my hips, because that's where you're most likely to feel pressure points. And what I would say here is that if you're a side sleeper, unless you're someone who just absolutely really loves a firm mattress, and that's all you're used to, you're probably going to feel like you'd be happier with a mattress that has a little bit more cushioning in it, and maybe a little more pressure relief as a side sleeper. I can use, you can see here, my shoulder's not really sinking into the mattress very much, and that's even for me, a 200-pound person. Certainly a lighter person would experience even less of that. And I think that overall, while I'm not feeling a ton of like pressure, I think overall I'd rather have more pressure relief in my shoulder if I were predominantly a side sleeper. That being said, what I want to point out as well is that you can also see in this position that, to take that carpeted floor analogy apart, this is where it would completely break down, because the carpeted floor would not be able to accommodate my hips the way this does. So those pocketed coils are able to conform to your body. So you're getting firmness, but you're also getting some conforming, and I wanted to make sure that that is clear. That's where I think this is, as firm mattresses go, this would be a much better fit for a side sleeper than a lot of really firm mattresses. So, but nonetheless, still would probably only recommend it for a side sleeper who just really wants that firm mattress experience. So now we're going to get into some of the more preference-based characteristics, meaning things that can be one way or another, neither of which is better. It's all just about your personal preference. And the first of these we call responsiveness, which is the difference between that quick responding bounce or more of a slow responding memory feel. And this mattress does have a little bit of memory foam in it, kind of into the mattress a ways, but what we would say overall is that this is a mattress that certainly goes way more towards the quick responding side of the spectrum. We'll start with that memory feel test, where you can kind of press in to the mattress and see how quickly it responds. And pretty much, 90% of it responds instantly back. There's just like a tiny little degree to which it's kind of slow, just a little tiny bit of delay there. But overall, pretty much no memory feel to speak of. Then we're going to test the bounce, and we test this a few different ways. We start with the surface bounce, and I would say like you've got this sort of like quilting fiber on top, which probably doesn't have a lot of like bounce at this level of the mattress, but it's not like it's shock absorbing, but it's not particularly bouncy on the top of the mattress. But now we're going to test sort of what we call the mid-level bounce, where we drop this 16-pound bowling ball. And you can see that at that point, or with that amount of force applied, you definitely get through this top stuff and into a much bouncier part of the mattress down below. So you do see a reasonable amount of bounce there. And then of course, we lastly apply my whole 200 pounds to test what we call deep bounce. And there you're really accessing those coils on the bottom of the mattress. And then for sure, you're seeing that the mattress does have deep bounce. So all in all, we would say, as I said in the beginning, this is definitely more towards the quick response or bouncy side of the spectrum. The next preference-based characteristic is what we call cushioning depth, which is the difference between sleeping more in your mattress or being kind of hugged or cradled by it versus sleeping more on your mattress or getting that floating on top of it sensation. And in the case of this Calista Extra-Firm, you're definitely going to be more towards the latter side of that spectrum. There's very little kind of cushioning depth to speak of, so you're really getting much more of that floating on top of your mattress sensation than you are any kind of hug or cradling. So to help illustrate this cushioning depth point, we often show you this bowling ball and how it looks on the mattress. And what you can see here is that the bowling ball too is much less cradled than you will have seen on other mattresses that we've reviewed. So now we're going to get into some of the characteristics of the mattress that we consider to be more priority-based, meaning things that can be better or worse about the mattress, but that may or may not be a priority for you personally. And the first of these is motion isolation, which, as you may know, refers to what degree is the person on, say, that side of the mattress going to be aware of or disturbed by what's happening over on this side. And we're going to test this a few different ways. The first is with this 16-pound bowling ball, which we drop down on the mattress, and we're watching, of course, what happens to that bowling pin, which, as you can see, it barely moves. So that right there is a very good sign and shows that this mattress does have at least good motion isolation. Now I'm going to put it to a much higher test where I'm going to put my whole 200 pounds down on the mattress. And in this case, we've tested it a bunch of times, and it doesn't just fly up or anything like that, but in most cases the bowling pin does fall. And basically what I would attribute that to is that this is a pretty tightly cinched down mattress. There's a lot of padding materials on top of this firm coil unit, and it's all pulled tightly together. And I think for that reason, there is a tiny bit of motion transfer. But overall, again, the pocketed coil unit topped with a bunch of foam is, generally speaking, going to be pretty good for motion transfer, and we saw that with the bowling ball test. So on balance, what we would say is this mattress has certainly good motion isolation at least, but maybe just not the best. One thing we do cover in most of our reviews is ease of repositioning, and we just want to show you that this is an obvious strength of this mattress. This is a very firm mattress with rather shallow cushioning depth, and as a result, it is very easy to reposition on. Another concern for some people is temperature or sleeping hot, and in the case of the Beautyrest Black Calista Extra-Firm, there is a fair amount of foam on top of the coils. That being said, we overall don't think that sleeping hot is likely to be a problem for you on this mattress, and there's a few reasons for that. First of all, we should mention that there are some features that are designed to mitigate this issue for you. For example, the foams, several of them contain conductors, which are designed to help move heat more efficiently away from your body. And also there's something they call surface cool fiber in this upper top of the mattress here. And I'm not, to be honest, sure what that is, but we thought we'd mention it to make sure you're aware that that's another feature designed to provide some cooling. But our biggest read on the temperature of this, as far as how likely it is to be a problem, comes from just the overall way you're going to interact with this mattress, which is that because of the fact that there's very shallow cushioning depth and there's not a lot of close conformance to your body, basically more of your body's surface area is going to be exposed to the air and thereby allowed to efficiently dispel heat. And that's going to be accentuated a little bit more so even by this undulations in the surface of the mattress, which gives even more chance for air to kind of come in underneath your body and allow heat to escape. So that, combined with the fact that underneath the foam there is a bunch of air under, where they have these coils. So a coil mattress like this is going to have a little bit more airflow and breathability than an all foam mattress. So when you put that all together, I guess I would say while some people could potentially overheat on just about any mattress, we generally would not expect that sleeping hot is likely to be a problem for people on this mattress. Another important feature for some people is edge support, so we always make sure to cover this in our reviews. And in this case, this is clearly a strength of this mattress. As you can see here, I'm sitting right on the edge, and there's really barely any dip at all. It's really holding up well underneath my entire weight in this concentrated area. And I'm going to just show it to you one other way, which is with me laying on the edge, and I always make sure to get my shoulder blade right here on the edge. And as you can see here, this edge is completely unfazed by me laying right on it. So we would certainly say that the edge support in this mattress is excellent. Another important consideration for some people is the degree of natural materials in a mattress, or maybe more so just the lack of harmful chemicals. And in the case of the Beautyrest Black line, the Calista Extra-Firm being just one example. These are not mattresses that make any claims about being natural. That being said, if this is an area of concern for you, there is something that you can take some reassurance from, which is the fact that all Beautyrest mattresses are made with only CertaPure certified foams. Now, CertaPure is a standard that basically looks for the presence of and off-gassing of various harmful materials and does certify that neither are present beyond some minimally acceptable threshold. So again, if this is something that is a concern for you, then that is something that you can take some reassurance from in this area. Three things that are going to be important to just about every mattress shopper, particularly when you're buying a mattress online, are delivery, return policy, and warranty. Now, in terms of delivery and return policy, these are going to depend on the retailer where you buy them. And in terms of buying directly from Beautyrest, we don't know yet what their delivery and return policy are going to be. So we'll add those to the written review when we have those available. But in terms of the warranty, that's going to be the same no matter where you buy this mattress, and it's going to be a 10-year warranty. And the most important thing you need to look at when evaluating a mattress warranty is how they define a body impression, which in the case of the Beautyrest warranty is going to be, at least in terms of this Beautyrest Black, it's going to be a 1.5-inch depression or greater, as measured when no one is on the mattress. Now, that is pretty much the industry standard for an inner spring mattress, so it's kind of just typical definition there. But that is kind of what you need to know about those three things. One thing that's important to just about every mattress shopper is value. And when we think about value, we always think about how much does it cost, what's in it, and how long do we think it's going to last. In terms of the cost, the current price of the Calista Extra-Firm is $1,799 in a queen size. And then you can also buy a matching foundation for an additional $200. And that price, by the way, should be uniform, or at least the lowest price that you see for this model, no matter where you look in terms of online or one of your local retailers. And then in terms of what you're getting for that, this is a 12-inch mattress, as we talked about, with comfort foams over pocketed coils. And in terms of how long we think it's going to last, we typically would turn to foam densities as our best, albeit imperfect, predictor of the longevity of the mattress. In this case, Beautyrest doesn't disclose the densities of the foams they use in this mattress. So unfortunately, we are not able to really offer much insight into how long we think these will hold up. That being said, what we would say is, number one, Beautyrest Black does have a good reputation for longevity as far as what we've seen on our website. Now, every brand has complaints. Every brand has some products that didn't hold up that went out there. But in general, we would say we've seen Beautyrest Black products hold up pretty well. And what we'd also say is that we feel really confident about the coil unit used in the Beautyrest Black. I feel like the triple wound coil unit is particularly durable as spring units go, and spring units in general are a pretty proven mattress technology as it relates to durability. So in terms of the overall value, we would typically compare this to other options you're likely to find, say, in your local stores or online. In terms of comparing to the local stores, this is a common option that you'd likely find in your local stores. So I guess we'll principally focus on how it compares to what you find online. What we would say, first of all, is that this is pretty different from most of the mattresses that we've reviewed that are principally sold online. Particularly this Calista Extra-Firm model is especially different since it's so much firmer and so much more kind of cinched together than most mattresses, just kind of tank-like in that respect. But even just more generally, the Beautyrest Black collection tends to be a little different than most of the mattresses we've reviewed. What we would say is that from all outward appearances that we can assess in terms of what we know about how this mattress is built, it seems to be built to a very high standard, higher than most of the mattresses that we've reviewed. But then again, we don't know about the foam densities, and that's a pretty big deal, frankly. And so it's hard to know exactly really how it compares quality-wise to those same mattresses, many of which do disclose their foam densities. So I guess on balance, it's really hard to assess how this compares. If we were to look to what appears to be the most comparable mattresses online, I would say that it would seem that this might be slightly more expensive than the ones that you would get online that are most similar, but probably not nearly as big a price difference as what those online companies would purport to be saving you. I guess on balance we would say that this is still an okay value, but it's hard to say with much more specificity than that. So just to sum up some of the things we've covered in this video, the Beautyrest Black Calista Extra-Firm is a really unique option, particularly relative to the universe of online mattresses that we've reviewed. And I say that insofar as this is a very firm mattress, which is going to make it a great option for a lot of people, and also not such a great option for a lot of other people. For example, we talked about how if you are a side sleeper, particularly one who is maybe my weight or a little lighter, you might find that you're not quite getting enough sink underneath your shoulder to keep the top of your spine in proper alignment. Or you might find that you just wish you had a little bit more padding or pressure relief underneath your shoulders and hips when sleeping on your side. Likewise, if you're looking for a mattress with a lot of that slow melting memory feel, you're not going to find that on the Calista Extra-Firm. Nor are you going to find a mattress with a lot of that hugged or cradled sensation if that's what you're after. However, if you are looking for a very firm mattress, and if you're, for example, a stomach sleeper, really of any weight, who doesn't want to have too much sink underneath your hips, or even if you're a back sleeper who's looking for a firm feel, but with enough conformance to kind of conform to the curves of your lumbar, for example, or even if you're a side sleeper and you're just super committed to that firm mattress feel, then this could be an option for you. Likewise, if you are someone who likes a good amount of bounce, someone who really prefers to float more on top of their mattress than sink into it, someone who values excellent edge support, and someone who also values buying from a brand that has been around a long time and we believe will be around for a long time to come. Certainly, we would expect it to be around for the lifetime of this mattress. And if those things are important to you, then we certainly think that the Calista Extra-Firm is one that you should consider. So we hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, we'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, maybe even subscribe to our YouTube channel. Either of those things will really help other consumers find this video as well. And if you're still not sure whether the Calista Extra-Firm is the right mattress for you, we really recommend that you go to GoodBed.com and take our Mattress Match quiz, which you can find right up in the header of any page of our website. The reason is that this quiz will walk you through all of the same criteria and considerations that we covered in this video, and ultimately will show you mattresses both online as well as in the local stores in your area that best match your personal needs and preferences. So we really think that this is a unique and helpful tool that you ought to take advantage of. In the meantime though, we really thank you for watching and we hope you sleep well.